all of you. So this is a new video on shares and dividends. As you can here, I want to tell all of you before I start with the next question is that I have another channel which has close to 400 videos. There are lots of chapters. There are lots of chapters are taken up there from your ICSE maths, physics and chemistry. Please check the playlist. You will get whole lot of questions on quadratic equations, on all the other chapters that are there in ICSE. For this chapter, I'll tell you something. Don't rely too much on formulae. Okay, this is the mistake people are doing. They are relying too much on formulae, which is not. Otherwise, these sums are nothing but a percentage question. If you know your 8th standard percentage well, you'll be able to do these sums like anything. You don't need any percentage. Only thing, any formula. The only thing you must know is dividend is calculated on the nominal value. So I will do all the sums here today, and you will see that I am not using any such, I will not write down any formula. I will just do the sums from common sense, and all the sums you will see that finally, whatever I write, I will explain and write, it is nothing but your formula. Okay, so don't just, you can remember the formula, but don't just try to remember the formula. You can do them very well by common sense. Okay, so let's see quickly that sum C. Okay, now before we start doing the sums, we will start and we will understand the topic. Okay, now many people are finding it very difficult. So let's see where the problem is. Let's understand the concept first quickly. So here there is a company. Okay, this is a company which is it wants to do some expansion. Okay, it wants to expand, maybe open up another outlet or something. So it wants to open another factory, something. So it needs money for its expansion. What it does is it gives out shares in the market. It gives out shares in the market. Why? To collect money. Okay, so now people in the market, now because it is a reputed company, people in the market are willing to buy its shares. So they buy the shares. Now the price at which he gives out, let's say 100 rupee shares. Okay, that means every person who buys it is paying 100 rupee for one share. Okay, so he is selling it to the people. So 100 rupee. So the nominal value, that is the value at which the company sold it, is 100 rupees. Okay. Now this 100 is, now the company also with it declares a dividend. Okay, so the dividend is given as a percent. Now the company declares a dividend. So dividend is as a percentage. So let's say 10% dividend the company is declaring. Now what does that mean? It is going to, if these people, okay, if these people A, B, C, D, E and F, these people are keeping the shares with them, in 1 year's time, the company will give them 10% of the nominal value of each share. Okay, dividend is always on the nominal value of the shares. Okay, so the company gives them 10% of that. Next is, now these people, whoever had bought these shares, they want to sell it off. Okay, they want to sell it off to another. Now supposing E wants to sell it to person P. Okay, now if the market is good, all the companies are doing well, then maybe he is selling it for 200. Now this 200 becomes the market value for P. Okay, so the market value is 200 for P. Okay, similarly, this person also might sell it for 200, or maybe if he is selling at a different time, he will sell it for 300, depends on the market. Okay, now there is no limit to the market value, it can be any value. The nominal value is fixed and the dividend percent is also fixed. Now if the nominal value was 100 and the market value was 200, then the share is supposed to be sold above par. Now these are the languages. In this chapter, language is very important. You have to understand the language like anything. If the nominal value is 100 and the market is not doing well, okay, the market is down, then if the market value, that is this person E, he just wants to sell off his share and gets some money, okay, he sells it at 80 rupees to somebody, then it is below par, okay. And if somebody is selling it 100, share nominal value 100, he sells it to, let's say, person M at 100, it is at par. So it is above par, below par and at par, okay. Now other than this, now there is an, as I said, there is an yearly dividend. So if now this person E has sold it to P, P gets the dividend which the company had declared. But then remember, P gets the dividend on the nominal value. Okay, he does not get it on 200 rupees. So nominal value as declared by the company will always be taken on the dividend as declared by the company will always be given only on the nominal value. Even if this share is being sold for 2000, doesn't matter, the dividend is going to be calculated only on the nominal value. Okay, so that is the meaning of dividend. Now if they talk about income, in many sums they talk about income from this transaction. So income is, as we do, you will see that income is nothing but then it is what is his total income. Now if it is, they are talking about income, then it is how much dividend he is getting at the end of, let's say, 2 years, 3 years, how much of dividend he has got. But then if they talk about yield percent, okay, they talk about yield percent, okay, then if it is yield percent, means how much money he has made, what percentage profit has he made on buying this. Now if this person has bought it at 200, then this yield percent will be whatever his dividend, whatever his dividend he makes, number of shares can vary, okay, the dividend by the total market value. That means his total market value is nothing but his investment on the shares. Here I am speaking about only 200 shares, but maybe he has bought 1000 of that, okay. So in that case it will be 2 lakhs, isn't it? 2 lakh rupees is his investment. So dividend, not dividend percent, dividend money, the money he has made from dividend on the total market value into 100 is the yield percent, okay, or sometimes what is his income percent, okay. Now here for this chapter I'll tell you something. Don't rely too much on formulae. Okay, this is the mistake people are doing. They are relying too much on formulae, which is not, otherwise these sums are nothing but a percentage question. If you know your 8th standard percentage well, you'll be able to do these sums like anything. You don't need any percentage. Only thing, any formula, the only thing you must know is dividend is calculated on the nominal value. So I will do all the sums here today, and you will see that I am not using any such, I will not write down any formula. I will just do the sums from common sense, and all the sums you will see that finally, whatever I write, I will explain and write, it is nothing but your formula. Okay, so don't just, you can remember the formula, but don't just try to remember the formula. You can do them very well by common sense. Okay, so let's see quickly that sum. How much should a man invest in rupees 50 shares selling at rupees 60? Now, as I said, the language of these questions are very important. How much should a man invest in rupees 50? You see, rupees 50 shares, when they use it as an adjective, okay, rupees 50 shares, nominal value becomes 50. You must make a note of these things first. Selling at rupees 60, clearly this is the market value is 60. To obtain an income of rupees 450, okay, so 450 is clearly the dividend, okay, it is the dividend that is 450, because what other income will you get from this? If the rate of dividend declared, now dividend percent is a 10%, make a note of everything, also find its yield percent, okay. So how, first thing is they want the investment, that is the total market value, and also they want the yield percent. Okay, so this is what we are going to find. So first thing is, if his income is rupees 450, means he has got a dividend of 450. Okay, so he has got a dividend of 450. If they have declared dividend as 450, in that case 450 is 10% of 10% of total nominal value. I can't write just 50. I'll have to write n into 50. Okay, what is n? N is the number of shares. Now cancel. Please don't multiply. I tell this in all my videos. So number of shares is a 90. Clearly number of shares is a 90. Okay, number of shares is a 90. Now they didn't ask it anywhere, but then total investment is how much? So total investment is 90 is the number of shares, and 60 rupees he bought one share for, 54 and 2 zeros. So rupees 5400 is his total investment. Okay. Now how much is the yield percent? Let's work on this. Yield percent is, now please don't write long statements. You will not have the time to write long statements, and hardly any marks is given for statements. Okay, so here yield percent is, see, I didn't use any formula. I just used my common sense and I made a linear equation out of n, and I got the value of n. Okay, now yield percent is, he is making 450 rupees by investing this much money into 100. Okay, have I used any formula? I really don't know the formula. I don't need them. Okay, it is plain common sense. This chapter is plain common sense. Okay, so 950 and 9 6. Okay, so that is 25 by 3. 25 by 3, which is, if they want us to the nearest whole number, it is 8. So it is an 8% he is getting yield. So he is getting 8% return from this investment. Okay, let's see the next question. So this is our second question. A man invests 4,500 in shares of a company. So this is his investment, means he has bought shares with this money and is paying 7.5% dividend. This is being paid by the company. Okay, and if rupees 100 shares, if rupees 100 shares are available at a discount of 10%, now here we really don't need to do any sum. We can straight away say at rupees 100 is the nominal value, 10% discount makes it rupees 90, number of shares he purchases. So market value is clearly rupees 90 after the 10% discount. You don't have to show this in 10th standard. Nominal value is a 100 rupees. Investment, or you can say total market value, the money that he has put in is this. Dividend is a 7.5%. Okay, so now let's see the sum. Man invests 4,500. So 4,500 divided by the market value of one share is equal to the number of shares. Okay, so here how many? 50 shares. He has bought 50 shares, which is paying 7.5% discount, available at a discount of 10%. Now number of shares he purchases, this is already found. His annual income. Now where will he get his income from? The only place he gets his income from is the dividend. So the dividend is a 7.5% of, okay, how much? The total nominal value, that is 50 rupees into 100, that makes it 50 shares into 100, that makes it the total nominal value. Okay, so here you will see that I am actually following the formula. What I will do here is I will just use one of the zeros to remove this decimal point, and then 100 into 5 into 100. Okay, so here just remove this, then how much does it come to? 375 rupees. Rupees 375 is, so rupees 375 is his dividend, his annual income. In a year he is getting this money after investing 4,500 in the share. So you see, I have not used any formula. It is just what I am doing is nothing but use of common sense and use of my percentage concept. Concept of percentage has been used again and again here. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. Now, this is our next question. Sachin invests rupees this. First thing is the investment. We are not going to read the full question. It's a very big question. Why waste time reading it? We will just put down our data here. 8,000 500 rupees. Now look at this, how important is the language. Rupees 100 shares at 10%. Okay, so it is rupees 100 shares at 10%. Dividend is a 10%. Nominal value is 100. Okay, so you have to understand rupees 100 shares, when they are using it as an adjective, you have to understand at rupees 170. So Sachin invests at rupees 1, his market value was rupees 170. He sells the shares when the price of each share rises by 30. Now that is his, he sells them at rupees, when another, his selling price is rupees 200 basically. Now he invests the proceeds. We'll go to the rest part of the question later. Okay, first thing is, how many shares did he buy? Let's see that. How many shares did he buy? This is the total investment, and here is 170. So this is 50. He bought 50 shares. Okay. So number of shares we got is 50. He sells the shares when the price of each share rises. So we now have the number of shares. He sells them when the price of each share rises by 30, means now his selling price becomes rupees 200, means from 170 it became 200. Okay, so now how much is his sale proceeds? Okay, sales proceeds means, what does it mean? What money he made by selling them. Okay, so his sale proceeds makes it 50 shares he sold. Okay, each share was a 200 rupees. Okay, so his sale proceeds became a 10,000 rupees. This is our first answer. The number of rupees 125 shares he buys. Now with that money, he invests the proceeds in 12% rupees 100 shares. Now this is a completely different share, nominal value 100, dividend 12%, and he buys them at rupees 125. So what is the price? Number of, that is, let me keep it as capital N, because this one I have kept it as small n. So now the number of the second type of shares he buys, because he has this money with him from selling the previous shares, and he buys each share for a 125. So any number which ends in 2 zeros is divisible by 25. So here 400. Now that is, he buys 80 shares. Okay, now what is his change in his annual income? We will find the annual income for both the cases, for the first share and the second share. Okay, D for first share. Okay, what is the dividend for the first share? That is, it was a 10% share. 10% into dividend for the first share. What is his total nominal value here? 10% of the total nominal value. He had 50 shares with him, and it was a 100 rupee share. So here you don't have to specially write another statement for total nominal value and all that. Okay, so he had made 500 rupees from the first share as his annual income. Okay, dividend for second share, that is the second company. Okay, all over, all completely. So this is a 12% share they have told, means dividend is a 12%. 12 by 100 into the total nominal value, number of shares is 80 rupees. 100 shares means nominal value of each share is 100. So here it goes to a, so this is 960. What is his change? Okay, how much is the change in his income? The change in his income is clearly 960 minus 500, which is a 460 rupees. Don't forget to put the rupees here, because this is where you get your marks. So the unit will be checked. Okay, so write rupees 460. Basically it's coming 960 minus 500. That gives me a 460. So we got number of shares here, we got number of shares here, we got first income here, we got second income, and then we got the change in income. So, and we also got the sale proceeds here. Okay, so all the answers are ready at once. Okay, so here is our next question. 500 shares of a company. Number of shares 500. Okay, nominal value which is given as a 120. Dividend is given as a 15%. So we make a list of our data. Total dividend paid by the company. From the company's side, for all 500 shares, how much of dividend? Total dividend paid by the company is 15% of is 15% of 500. 500 is the number of shares. Nominal value of each share is a 120. Okay, get rid of this. So 180 into 5, which makes it rupees 9,000. Okay, so 9,000 the company pays as dividend to his shareholders. Annual income of Mr. Sharma, who holds 80 shares. Now, income of Mr. Sharma is basically, where else will he get his income from? He'll get it from dividend only. So here 15% of 80 shares. Now it is not 500, he has only 80 of them, and the nominal value is 120. So this becomes the total nominal value. So if you all are using the formula, you can see the formula here. Now 180 into 8, which is rupees 1440 is his annual income. Now there is a second part of the question. If the return percent of Mr. Sharma from his shares is 10%, find the market value of each share. Okay, so the return percent basically is they are looking for the yield percent. Okay, the yield percent is 10%, 10 here. Okay, and income he has made from the shares. The only source of income from the shares is dividends, and here till now I had thought that the market value, he has bought it at nominal value. No, he has not bought it at nominal value. I understand that when I read this part of the question. Okay, now market value of each share is, this is market value of each share is, this is 1440, and market value of each share is, here market value into number of shares, he had 80 shares. Okay, into 100 means income by total market value into 100. Get rid of the zeros as far as possible. 8 here, if you cut, it brings a 120. Rupees 120 is the market value of one share. You bring this market value here. Okay, it's a linear equation. We get a linear equation in where the unknown variable is the market value. So I am not following the formula exactly. I am doing a common sense question on percentage. This is my total market value, this is my total income, percentage question, and this is my percentage. Don't put the percentage sign over here, it will make your sum go wrong. Okay, it is just 10. Okay, so our total yield or income percent is a 10. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. Here I want to tell all of you, before I start with the next question, is that I have another channel which has close to 400 videos. There are lots of chapters. There are lots of chapters are taken up there from your ICSE maths, physics and chemistry. Please check the playlist. You will get whole lot of questions on quadratic equations, on all the other chapters that are there in ICSE. Okay, this is my new channel only exclusively for ICSE 10th. Okay, the other channel has videos starting from standard 6 to standard 11 for all classes, maths and science. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. Now here is our next question. Man invests this much money. Okay, investment. The sums look big, but they are not that difficult. 22500 in rupees 50 shares. Okay, so rupees 50 is in rupees 50 shares available at 10%. Now nominal value, when they write, I have told you earlier also, rupees 50 shares, they are kind of writing it as an, using the number as an adjective, rupees 50 shares. Then please write that as the nominal value. Now available at a discount is 10%, and here dividend is a 12%. Okay, number of shares purchased, how many shares did he purchase? Nominal value is 50 but discount is 10%. Okay, so if the discount is 10%, then immediately you can say that the market value of each share is a rupees 45. If you want to show the calculation 10% of rupees 50, you can do this and you get a rupees 5. Subtract it from 50 rupees, you will get your rupees 45. Okay, so this is our rupees 45 is our market value for the person. Calculate the number of shares purchased. So N is equal to, he naturally buys it at this price, 22500 by 45. Okay, let's see if it goes by 9. because I can see it is going by 9. 9 5s are, and 9 2s are 18. Okay, and 5 and 0 0. 500. Okay. So he bought 500 shares. Now the annual dividend, okay, the annual dividend is how much? How much dividend is he getting in a year? Let's see this. Dividend percent is at 12%. 12% of the total nominal value. He has bought 500 shares. Multiply that with the nominal value of 1 share. Okay, which is a 50 rupees. Okay. So how much did, what dividend did he get in a year? So here it is, so 60 into 50, that is 0, 0 and 30 rupees. 3000 is his annual dividend. Okay, what else have they asked? The rate of return he gets in his investment. What is basically the yield percent? Okay, so here you can write yield percent, also you can write rate of return or yield percent. Don't have time, write yield percent, you'll get your marks, don't worry. And the rate of return he gets in his investment is, now his income is 3000, okay, and his investment was 22500, okay, into 100. Here goes, this is 25, 9, 25, 120. So here if I divide 120 by 9, I'll get a 40 by 3, which is 13.3%. The rate of return is 13.3%. Okay. So this was the sum. Okay, so this was the sum. These were the important questions from shares and dividends. Remember, all these questions were PYQs. They were previous year's questions from the last few years. Okay, so still if you have not understood, let me know in the comment section. Let me bring up some more questions. If you have not understood a part of the sum, please ask in the comment section. I'll try and interact with you. Okay, so if you have liked the video, do not forget to like, share and subscribe. Also subscribe my other channel, because I'm constantly putting videos there too, in science, in especially in physics and chemistry I put there now. So please subscribe the other channel also, and don't forget to comment in the videos. Thanks all of you. Bye then.